So I'm absolutely chuffed to bits to be here again with Martin Horn from Tilbury Douglas, and we've just had a tour of the building. And even since we came last week for the December Coli Cast, huge amounts of work has been done. Those two walls in that we said we're going have gone. You'll see a little cutaway of that in a minute. So how are you finding it all, Martin?
Yeah, I think, as I probably mentioned last time we spoke, they're really interesting buildings to be involved in. They bring the challenges because it's like peeling back an onion. You know, every time we take something off, we find something new, and we've got to be kind of agile and adaptable to that in terms of the design and working with our supply chain and so on. But yeah, really interesting building. We think we've uncovered something from the old circus even today that we looked at when we walked around. So fantastic building to be involved in. Good to see some meaningful progress, because a lot this first year has been about stripping back and discovery and design, and now it's very much about we're into the demolition phase, opening up the changing rooms, the corridors that we were talking about, re-roofing the building as well. You can see we've made some really significant progress on that. So we're watertight now, which is a fantastic place to be coming into the new year, and it allows us to really focus on internal fit out then, and that's what's going to bring this kind of building back to life. So yeah, it's good to have you all here today. It's been fun.
I love that you talk about that this is the sort of really difficult bit, and it's hard to show progress, and then like we get to the sexy bit where we start to refurb and start to sort of really embrace the heritage of the building, but look into the future as well. But I was very interested, Martin, in what we were talking about fire regulations and safety post Grenfell, and how that has changed things, and how once you might have been able to do a patch up job on this and that you can't now. Can you talk us through that a little bit, because I think that's been a lot of what has slowed down progress in terms of actually stripping back, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think what a lot of kind of lay people probably won't understand with buildings like this is it's not just a singularly designed building from a particular period. It's been added onto iteratively over a long period of time, decades. And so what you get is a bit of a mismatch. You've got some structural steel in certain places, you've got timber in certain places, and you've got multiple different buildings that kind of make up what the Coliseum is. So it's very, very difficult just to come up with a one-size-fits-all kind of design solution. And really what I was referring to with the fire strategy really is, you know, let's not forget this is a public space that's going to have 500 people in it watching live performances. It needs to be safe. It needs to be safe from an evacuation perspective. It needs to be safe from a fire performance perspective, so it's safe to bring people into the building so they can enjoy the building. But it also needs to be, you know, technically capable of holding performances, so acoustically it needs to be well designed and so forth.
Could you talk to us a little bit about the architects, the design of the building, the sort of stakeholder collaboration in that, and where you've come to?
Yeah, I think what's again important with buildings like this is understanding what ultimately the purpose is. This is a building that's essentially giving back to the local community. It's got nostalgia attached to it, it's got heritage attached to it, and ultimately it's going to be a performance venue. So it's got to work, but we've got to be very sensitive about making sure it kind of speaks and harks back to what it was. So there's been a huge amount of stakeholder engagement, obviously with Oldham Coliseum, with the local authority, with other stakeholders, and the design team and the architects have been involved in that process. And so through every stage, if you like, of the process through the course of 2025, we've tried to make sure that everybody is considered, and wherever possible we've come up with a design, if you like, that really gives everybody a little piece of what they want. So it is authentic, it is local, and you know, we think we've got a really good design, and I think the people of Oldham will agree.
It always felt like quite a luxurious, plush place to be, and that's a wonderful thing, a little jewel in the crown of this town.
Absolutely, indeed. And you know, the last thing you want to be doing with buildings like this is just stripping them to the ground and building a box that's got no kind of character and authenticity. Yes, it brings challenges with old buildings like this, and you know, everybody needs to understand and appreciate that.
And how has it been working with Oldham Council?
Yeah, I mean, this kind of continues a relationship that we developed at Oldham Old Library, heritage refurbishment. I mean, we've got a very close collaborative relationship with Oldham Council. I have to say, from the perspective of a client, they are challenging, they're demanding. They hold us to task, put us feet to the fire, if you like, and they want answers and they want justification and substantiation all through the process. So they're very much engaged with us, but at the same time, they are thoughtful, collaborative, and it's quite obvious that what they're looking at, everything that they look at really is through the prism of what it gives back to the community, and so it's been a continuation of a really good, strong relationship that we've built up that's kind of based on honesty and trust, really, and that helps us as a contractor and hopefully is reciprocated back the other way with the client.
Certainly, and it certainly helps us as a friends group, I know, to have those open lines of communication with the council constantly. We felt so listened to and supported by Arooj and her gang, so it has been a very, very positive experience for us too.
Good.
Hi everyone, so we're outside at the Coliseum again, and today I'm here with Jim McMahon, who's one of the Oldham MPs, of course, and with Councillor Arooj Shah, the leader of Oldham Council. So Jim, I don't think you've been here and since we first opened the doors after the closure for a year. How was it?
Well, I think the scale of the work is impressive, but also I think like the little glimpse of the history of the building. We saw there a timber that we think was from the original circus. You see still the graffiti actually from the old Coliseum staff and volunteers before it was closed, and you get a real sense there that actually, and this, but it's always been more than just a building.
Yeah, absolutely. It's such an important part of this town. Arooj, what do you think this theatre means to the town more widely than it being a theatre?
I just think, for me, and I think in answer to that question, people identify with the theatre so much and so strongly, and I think when we were knocking on doors we heard it all the time, and the strength of feeling proves Jim's point. It's not just a building, there's memories, there's history, and hopefully we will that we can all be so proud of again. But for me, it's something so symbolic, and it's showing respect to the people of Oldham.
Yeah, absolutely, giving people a sense of civic pride again. And obviously it's Tilbury Douglas who did the amazing restoration of the old library and gallery that's now the council offices and Oldham Theatre Workshop. Absolutely Bobby Dazzler theatre that they've got there now. So how important is it for you that Tilbury Douglas were involved in this project?
So I was just really keen. So even with the library, that had similar strength of feeling to it. It was derelict for like nearly 2 decades, and people associate the closure of buildings or something that they were used to having, not having anymore, with people giving up on them and a sense of like loss all the time. What they taught me was the shared respect for the people of Oldham. They're absolutely exceptional.
I absolutely agree, and I'd like to say a big thank you to Tilbury Douglas for welcoming us always into the building, for having the lines of communication so open, in us being able to share with the Oldham community how we're getting on here, the problems that are arising as we go, and about the vision for the future. So thanks to Tilbury Douglas, big shout out to them. Thank you to Jim, and thank you to Arooj.
Thank you to you.